Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nika, calm down, okay? Shouldn't have you on the stream right now. All right. The first thing I need to do is confirm. Do I sound okay? Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull myself up on my phone so I can hear it. So y'all know how we get down. I need y'all to let me know if everything sounds okay, if it looks okay, because we got a whole lot to talk about. All right, looks like I can hear myself. And let's add a little bit of music. Let's add a little bit of music, shall we? You know, let's add a little bit of music to the chat. See if we got some music going on. I like that song. All right. Yes, Shield Team 6 is here. All right, family. Do we sound okay? Do we look okay? I got coffee. All right. Super quiet. I can fix that. Somebody else confirm because on with my stream it sounds okay. Y'all know how we get out. I need y'all to let me know if everything. I'll bump it up some if y'all want me to though. If you would like that. All right. How about now? Is the audio okay now? What about the background music? Is it too loud? I don't want it to be too loud. I like having music going while I'm streaming. I know that's not everybody's vibe, but I freaking like it. All right. As usual, we gonna get this started. Okay, somebody said looks and sounds fine. That's what I like to hear. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. All right, looks and sounds fine. All right, great. So we gonna get this started how we always do. Drop in the chat where you from, what camera you using. We about to talk a whole lot tonight, y'all. A whole lot tonight. And y'all might call me, you know, I mean, I am part of the legendary Shield Team 6, but yeah, we got to talk a whole lot about this baby right here. Lumix S1 Mark II. But before we get into that, let me know where you from, what camera you using, and I would also like to know if you've watched any videos on the S1 Mark II, and so far, what do you think about it? I know I just asked you to do a whole lot, but you know, I'm drinking coffee, so whatever. I'll start with my comment. It's about to get filthy in here. Yes, sir, it is. It's about to get real nasty. By the way, I hope y'all like the way this looks. I've been taking cues from my boy Cam Mackey, trying to get my lighting situation together. So let me know if you like it. Let me know if... Come on, I need the chair to be fixed. Let me know if you like it. There we go. So there will be people who will ask me, oh, yo, what's the stream setup? I think I updated the description. So Blackmagic Pixis over here, which I'm about to drop a video on that probably in the next day or two, because the Pixis can do something that no other camera right now can do. We're going to talk about that. I got one light over here, and I got Scan Mackey's new light right there. You hear them people on their freaking bikes? I'm jealous. And I got a little flashlight giving like a window, you know, window vibe over there. So again, let me know where you from. Cam Mackey just super chatted in 1999. I'm kind of scared to see what it says, but shout out to Cam Mackey, Shield Team 6 in the building. I'm sure a lot of y'all just got off of his live, which was fantastic. But where you from? What camera you rocking? And if you feel like it, let me know what you think about the S1 Mark II. Okay? Let me know. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go through. Jason Morris is here in the building already. What up, Jason? Y'all see what this says? World's best stepdad. Another super chat. I didn't see the pop-up on the screen, so I'll get to that in 1 second. But It's about to get serious. Yes, it is, man. Y'all not gonna like some of what I'm about to say. Just to let you know. Okay. Some of y'all are not gonna like what I'm gonna say. The legend himself, Sean Robinson, in the building. Coffee at this hour, that is serious. Listen, man, I drink coffee before I go to freaking bed with no problem, all right? But anyways, again, let me know where you from, what camera you rocking, and what do you think so far about the S1 Mark II, okay? Yep. Dig the Blade Runner style tune. Thank you. I've got the original S1 and S5II. This new camera is interesting, but not sure I want or need to spend that kind of coin for my rather limited needs. You brought up a very good point that I'm going to tackle early. All right. There were some people complaining on Threads earlier about how, actually it was somebody on my Lumix video, my S1 Mark II, like, you know, you guys were just singing the S1R2's praises and saying that that's the camera to beat. And at the time, like, it was. Like, we didn't know this camera was coming. We also acknowledged that there was, you know, it has some shortcomings. But again, we didn't know this was coming. So what's wrong with us testing a new camera and being like, you know what, this one is kind of the one I want to go with. We are not forcing y'all to buy anything. That's what a lot of people are not understanding. We're not forcing y'all. You are a grown person of your own free will. And I'm not making a video on YouTube saying you must go buy this camera. In fact, I never say that. Y'all got to remember, this is kind of my job. We test out cameras. We use the cameras. Okay, so obviously we cover the latest, the greatest, but at no point are we ever like, you need to sell everything you have right now and go buy the camera that we're talking about. So if you go buy something, ill-advised that you mad about, or you're gonna be mad about if another camera comes out 2 weeks later, that's kind of not my problem, sir. You need to, you know, calm yourself down. You're a little hot in the pants. You're trying to buy everything as soon as it come out. You need to relax. Pause that. But not sure I want or need to spend that kind of coin for my rather limited needs. That's fair. Y'all don't have to buy this new camera. If it's for you, fine. If not, guess what? The camera you have right now works just fine. It ain't like a new camera came out and then yours just stopped working. I'm not talking to you, PK, but I'm just saying, like, people have this, like, oh my God, this new camera's out. Mine is not gonna, like, mine is inferior now. Like, it was fine yesterday. So don't feel like because y'all see us talk about a new camera that you just have to immediately go out and sacrifice your children and all of this stuff so you can get it. None of us are saying that. You strike me as an instant coffee kind of guy. Wow, Sean, that's crazy coming from you. Yes, I brewed my coffee. Wow, rude. What's rude? What happened? Shield Team 7, Cam Mackey, you need to stop it. We're Shield Team 6 are here. David Manning in the house. Big dog. What up, David? The legendary David Manning himself. We about to get into this S1 Mark II. Because I'm going to just say, it's the camera to beat right now, y'all. And I'm about to go into that a whole lot further. No cowboy hat. He's chilling. Yeah, I'm not Cam Mackey. Okay, I don't wear cowboy hats. Waxter said, super quiet. I think I fixed that. Interested to hear TerryWarfield's advice on upgrading to this from earlier Panasonic cameras. Pros and cons. It's the best you can get right now. That's the pro. But, I mean, it's a, listen. I'ma just, since we on the subject, this right here is one hell of a camera. No two ways about it. I don't care what you say, what you want to call me, what you want to imply. Terry's only saying that because they flew him to Texas. And shut up. Shut up. Take Terry out of it and look at what this camera offers, which we're going to get into it. This is right now the camera that has put the entire camera space on notice. The S1R Mark II also put the industry on notice, but this one came to like, man, everything y'all said about him, like, hey, shut up, because I'm here now. So we're going to talk about this. Should you upgrade from an earlier Panasonic camera? I mean, if you got the money and you want to, why not? That's what I always say. If y'all looking for somebody to talk you out of buying a camera, tight shirt TerryWarfield ain't the person. I'm gonna tell you go buy it. I am not the most responsible person with money. I mean, I am, but I'm not at the same time. But I just feel like if you got the money, you know, everybody says you should only upgrade if you need it. Forget all that. Do you want it? Will it make you happy? Will it spark your creativity? Can you afford it? You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Sometimes I literally just dropped a video on my channel about this Voigtlander 50mm f1.2, right? And I didn't need it. I didn't want it. Had no professional use case for it. But guess what? I wanted it, and guess what it did for me? It sparked my creativity when it comes back to photography. So sometimes it's not about buying it because, oh my God, I can only buy it if I need it. Sometimes I just want new gear. Like if you anything like me, I'm a nerd, bro. I like new gadgets make me excited. So whether I want it or need it, if I got the money, my bills is paid, I got some money in the bank, it ain't gonna cost me. I mean, it ain't gonna hurt me to go buy it. I'm gonna go buy it. So to answer your question, should you upgrade? Why not? If you got the money, tight shirt TerryWarfield ain't gonna try to talk you out of it. But, you know, obviously you need to do what's best for your situation. I have to put that out there. I'm not about to be out here giving fugazi advice and you eating ramen noodles for the next week because you went and bought a camera that you shouldn't have bought. Only you know what your pockets look like. You sound good. Thank you. Sound okay? Fantastic. Looking sound fine. Great. Looks good. Sounds good over here. Sounds good over here. Sounds good now. What happened to my comments on the screen? There we go. Are backward hats mandatory for all YouTube camera reviewers? That's kind of funny, to be honest with you. Sure. Absolutely, just like the freaking green plants are. You want to be a YouTuber, you need the backwards hat, you need the green plant, and you got to have coffee. You don't have those three things, you ain't getting nowhere. It's all good, fantastic, all good. Yeah, he tried to cook me, but you know, the stream's audio and video looks good. Gary Austin, what up? Bro, this is a sick live setup. Forget all the negativity. Slay it, brother. Thank you. Thank you. This is taking some work to get. I've been taking cues from Cam Mackey because he's like the lighting god. He was like, bro, you don't need all them lights. You just need one light. Haven't you ever heard of Rembrandt light, you idiot? I'm like, yeah, I heard it, but it doesn't work in my space. He's like, pull the desk out and put the lights behind the desk and turn all them damn lights off and add you a practical in the background. Here we are. I think it looks great. I think it looks fantastic. This is the Blackmagic Pixis I'm using with the Blazar Remus 45mm T2, which Cam Mackey hooked me up with. So, W's in the chat for Cam Mackey. We got to give it to him. Cam is doing his thing right now. Much as I hate him, he is. He really helped out a lot. All right, let me get back to the comments, and then we're going to start talking about this. We got some super chats in here already. All right, all good. The stream's audio and video look good, bro. This is a sick live setup. Thank you. Shield team in the house. We got Spain already on the ZVE1. Mine is around here somewhere, but oh, my ZVE1 is right here. But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Y'all ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. You're not gonna like what I'm gonna say, all right? But anyway, Spain in the ZVE1. Sony shooter here from Canada. You the same one that just made a comment about my backwards hat. You need a new profile picture, because what the hell is that? What is this? Josh 6499. What profile image is this? You definitely got this from ChatGPT or Google, and you need to change it. Sound to look good. That's what I'm talking about. At least you're using a good camera. A7R3. That's what's up. Shield Team 6 Kofi in the building. Yes, sir. Miami on a A7 III. That camera is still freaking legendary. More plants. Manny's here. Look at his picture on here. Like, who do Manny think he is, bro? Y'all just never see this side of it. I like, look, for real. I wanted like this dark, moody, like earthy plant vibe. Okay, so yes, I spent like $400 on fake plants from freaking what's the store called? Home. So yeah, I blew like $400 on plants. I love the way it look. You are a hater. Northern VA used Canon and Sony FX3 primarily, and yes, saw Brandon's live session yesterday. They was in there cooking yesterday. I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. Some gear is about to get sold because of the Lumix S1II. That's how serious this is getting. I'm about to get into that as soon as we get through these comments. All right, first super chat is from Cam Mackey. Looking cinematic. Thank you, bro. This is only with the, so we got Cam Mackey and Manny Ortiz, like the two people I know that know light and the best in the chat right now. That's dope. 1999, thank you for the super chat, bro. Y'all don't have to send no money, but if you do, I appreciate it. But thanks for dropping that super chat for 1999. Action 5 Pro for YouTube. Pro work, I use a FX3, but that Lumix looks sexy. I'm waiting patiently for that FX3 Mark II or FX6 Mark II. Hey, it's a lot of people online on the should I sell my Sony FX3 for the Lumix S1II train. And I'm gonna tell you, sit your behind down somewhere, okay? It ain't nothing wrong with the FX3. Do I think, and I'm gonna throw this out there because somebody dropped a comment on my video today, like FX3 is still better. And I'm sorry, I am gonna disagree. Another super chat, yo, we appreciate it. I'm gonna get to that in a second. I'm gonna disagree at this point. You know what? Let's just get into it right now. All right, the Sony FX3 is a fantastic camera. Absolutely. I had one, I sold it. Well, I had the A7S III. Sold that for the FX3. And then I sold the FX3 for the ZV-E1. And I'm gonna tell you what I love about the FX3. All right, I love, it is easily the best looking mirrorless camera out there, hands down. I mean, short of like, you know, the little vintage looking cameras like the ZF, and I think the FX3 is freaking gorgeous. The form factor is also lit. And the image quality is great. And let me say this. I know they've used the FX3 on, you know, shows and movies and all that stuff. All mirrorless cameras today are way more than good enough. But I'm going to tell you something, bruh, that you ain't going to want to hear. The FX3 image looks amazing. Oh, y'all about to be so mad. I'm about to say this. Until you put it next to footage shot with the S1R2 and the S1 Mark II. Okay, I haven't done a like image comparison, but some of my fellow Shield Team 6 members, I think Cam did a video on this, Kofi might have did a video on this, have shown next to Sony files. And again, I'm not dissing Sony files. Obviously, they look amazing. But I remember Cam put up a video in specific. I should play it, right? I should play it. But just showing how Lumix cameras handle like the gradations and skin tones, and being able to keep certain colors in the shadow areas and how the highlights roll off and all that other stuff. So again, you looking at FX3 footage, you'll be like, damn, that look good, until you see some Lumix footage. And I'm not just saying this, bro. Like, you really go watch Cam's video. And when you see it, like, I remember he was sitting in this ugly truck. His truck is hideous. I don't even know why he bought that stupid thing. And the Bronco he has is not even a truck. But he was in there, and you know, with his little stupid cowboy jacket on, with his little cowboy ranger hat on, showing like how the colors were still retaining in the shadows on this Lumix camera. I was like, whoa, whoa. So again, this is not a diss on any other camera, but I will tell you this: for stills, I prefer Nikon colors right out the camera. For video, I prefer Lumix colors, hands down. And not only the colors, but just the way that they handle dynamic range, skin tones. Like, It's really good, y'all. Anyways, should you? I don't know if you should sell it. Waiting for the FX3 Mark II, FX6 Mark II. Who knows when that's coming? I have no clue. You might be waiting a long time. You know, you saw the little update we just got on the FX3 not long ago. You know, they added a whole new screen on there for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And they added a USB 3.2. You know what I'm saying? And they took out the IR little thing. And what else did they take out that nobody was using? Anyways, I think we are far off from the FX3 Mark II. It won't even be called the FX3 Mark II. It'll be called the FX4. But I think we're far away from that coming because they can't even, like, the FX3 is still selling like hotcakes, bro. So, you know, I don't know if we'll see one. All right. But thank you, Cam, for that super chat. Appreciate you. Sounding look good. Video's great. Really going to have to hold off on the S1II until I see A7 V specs. Nice for L mount people, but maybe a bit pricey. I'm going to disagree, bro. I'm going to disagree. First of all, I'm not saying that you should jump systems. If you are already invested in Sony glass, that's a hard sell to get somebody to switch systems. That's why most people don't switch systems, is because of the lenses. I have a ton of Sony glass. I'm not about to lie. And my guy Sean is in the stream, and he's the marketing guy for Lumix. I don't care. I'm not about to lie. The reason why Sony has been my primary camera system is because of how invested in it I am. I have Sony lenses everywhere, dog. I have G Masters galore. And specifically, I have a 300mm f2.8, the gangster mode version. Y'all, I'll go get it. You want me to go get it, don't you? I ain't gonna go get it. Unless you want me to. Let me know in the chat right now if you want to see the 300mm f2.8 gangster mode, because I'll go get it. But it's hard to leave a camera system when you are very, very invested in lenses. I have like 5 G Masters, a bunch of third parties, a couple G lenses. So it's not easy to just switch systems. I'm not even saying that you should switch systems. However, to say that the S1 Mark II is a little pricey. Ooh, what? How? So the S1II is pricey, but the FX3 is not pricey. Somebody help me make sense out of this. I'm not saying you said this, but I'm just trying to. Okay, so the FX3 is still $3,900, and it's 4 years old. Yes, it is still creme de la creme of, you know, mini film cameras, right? Yeah, but when you bring up the S1 Mark II, I just can't agree with that. Like, I don't know if you've seen everything that this camera brings to the table. It is not like, this is not some gimmick camera, dog. Like, you don't. Okay, you gonna make me go there. You gonna make me go there. 24 megapixels, right? And however Lumix did it, okay, they took the, I'm gonna say it here, even though Lumix will never admit it, it's the Z6 Mark III sensor. And somehow they were able to squeeze the living piss out of it, because the thing can shoot 6K, let me just start with open gate, 6K 30 open gate. And we got to throw, hold on, let's back up. How many other cameras out there, full frame, are offering open gate outside of Lumix? Nobody, unless you want to get into the expensive cinema space. I think the cheapest you could get open gate in is the Blackmagic cameras, but those are like cinema cameras. Those are not hybrid cameras with autofocus and all that stuff, right? So when we talk about mirrorless cameras, out of the big 5, Lumix, Sony, Nikon, Fuji, and whoever else is in the mix, Canon, but you know, nobody, they don't even make cameras anymore, so who knows? Nobody else is offering open gate. And if you don't understand the importance of open gate, let Tight Shirt TerryWarfield help you out. I sound like a sales pitch right now. Everybody in this chat, all 80 of y'all right now, which there's only 26 likes. What's up with that? There's 80 people watching, but 26 likes. It will really help this stream out if you could take 3 seconds real quick, find the like button and hit it. That'll tell YouTube, like, hey, the people watching like this, and then they'll send it out to more people. Could you do that for me, please? I'll take a sip of coffee. While I take a sip of coffee, I'll share if you want a sip. You want a little sip of that? Hit the like button. Please and thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's get back into it. So the freaking thing can shoot 5.1K 60 open gate. Okay, there's not even many cameras outside of Nikon that can shoot frame rates and resolutions that high. So 5.1K 60 frames per second open gate. There's a 4x3 open gate mode up to 60 frames a second. This is 10-bit. This is 10-bit. On top of that, you got a 4-way flippy screen. Sony has 3 cameras that have that now. They're all $4,000 and above. So I'm just giving you perspective. Nobody else is giving you a 4-axis, giving you one of the flippy rotating cartwheel screens like that under $4,000. The closest you could get is the A7R5. The A7R5 is $3,900. Mine is around here somewhere. I actually dropped it yesterday. Terrible. 4-way flippy screen. Almost $6 million EVF. What else? A lock button. A built-in fan. Okay. And a sensor that offers 15 stops of dynamic range. Okay. But let's keep going. So not only are you getting that at open gate, when you go into your 16x9s and 17x9s and the new CinemaScope option, you're talking up to 6K 60, dog. Okay, and I'm only saying this to give you price perspective. The maximum that the Sony FX3 could go up to is 4K 120. Okay, this camera also shoots 4K 120. Now it is another 10%, so it's like a 1.2 times crop versus the Sony's 1.1 times crop. You also got 1080p 240. And on top of that, ProRes RAW HQ, ProRes over HDMI, B-RAW over HDMI. It's getting Arilog C3. It's got Lumix Lab on it, which you put 30. Listen, y'all, 39 freaking LUTs in the camera that you can assign to photos, videos. You can create them, you can edit them, you can download more, you can share them with your friends, all from your phone and the camera. You don't need to hook it up to a software on a computer like Nikon does. Sony doesn't even let you do it on photos yet. Might be coming soon, but I'm just talking about right now. You got Lumix Flow on top of that, Bluetooth time code. Like, I could keep going. So when you say like it's a little pricey, at $3,200, I think they should have charged more. They could have easily waxed everybody for the S1 Mark II and the S1R Mark II. These are $4,000 cameras or more, and they're only charging $3,200. So I can't agree with that. Until you see some A7 V specs, I'm really curious what Sony's gonna do. Sony likes staying in the same wheelhouse. Okay. Every Sony camera, if you haven't noticed, short of the A7R5 and the Alpha 1 Mark II, they have the exact same codec stack. The exact same ones. Nothing's different about them. The exact same bit rates, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. They got a combination that works. It satisfies a lot of people. I still use it, so I'm not dissing them. But I really want to know what they're going to bring with it. Because we've seen over the years, Sony does not push the sensors that they have in their cameras. And what's crazy is they sell them to everybody. So like they sell them to Nikon and Lumix and DJI and all that stuff. And then, they run a train on them and make them do these amazing things. And Sony just doesn't. They just rely on like, oh, we got the best in class autofocus and the biggest lens system, which I'm not discounting. No, those are huge things. But I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with the A7 V. You want my opinion? I don't think it's going to be a revolutionary upgrade. We got to follow their track record. They don't typically come out with revolutionary new features. Everything is more. All right. So this is what I think. I don't see them because they have a speed camera. They have a resolution camera. So the A7 V is going to be their mid-tier hybrid camera between the ZV-E1. Pretty much. So right above the ZV-E1, A7 IV, A7C line, right? So if I had my thoughts on it, it would be like I think they'll probably stick with the same 33 megapixel sensor. They're definitely not going to give us any type of stack sensor. That's for sure. Because then that's stepping on the toes of the Alpha 1 Mark II, which is the stacked 50.1 megapixel sensor. And also they'll want to keep it at around $2,500. So I just think that they're going to come out with more of like they did the Alpha 1 Mark II. Same sensor, add in all the AI crap, all of the latest and greatest autofocus and subject detection, and all, which I'm not saying are a bad thing. But even when the A7 IV comes out, which it probably won't come out to probably end of this year, me personally, I don't think it's going to be able to hang with either one of these cameras, with the S1II or the S1R Mark II. But I'm curious. Jason Moore says, damn, Cam dropping that shield money. You know how much you got paid by Lumix, bro? I'm just playing. Missouri, Kevin Clark, A7 IV, A7. Oh, we got Sony gang in the house. A7 IV, A7 III, A7C2, and A6600. There we go. Waiting patiently for that FX3 Mark II as well. I'm going to get back into this S1II in 1 second. Manny says, Lewis, great vlogs, my man. Virginia, we got a GFX 100 RF in the house. Oh, you got a unicorn in the house. Throw up those likes, please. Kansas with an S1R Mark II. Nice. The Action 5 Pro with a DJI Mic Mini has resparked my passion for making video with no worries. Full auto, D-Log, no shame. You know what's crazy? I watched Peter Lindgren build his entire swimming pool. He made a vlog filming only the Action 5 Pro. And it was some of the most engaging stuff I've seen in a long time. And it was all shot on the Action 5 Pro. Some of the footage looked terrible, but when the content is good, you don't care about how good the footage looks. So I could totally feel that. I need to start using mine more. For real. Ugh, okay. Lowriders Classic Cars, a car culture from Ventura, California. Let's go. I currently have the Sony A7R5. Why is my text doing this? Like, why is it skewed like that? Can I fix this? That is weird. Maybe if I hold Option. Anyways, I currently had a Sony A7R5. Main lens is the 24 to 70 millimeter G Master Mark II. I dropped that combo yesterday, bro. This is not it. I dropped that combo yesterday. It fell off my tripod and it flipped over and landed on the top of the camera. The camera survived. The hot shoe was just a little banged up. But the lens, boy, I was sick. That's a $2,500 lens. But anyways, my main lens is the 24 to 70. Also had a 70 to 200 G Master Mark II and the 16 millimeter. My next camera is the Sony Alpha 1 Mark II, but that Lumix has me thinking. All right, I'm gonna start talking about it now. Okay. First of all, the S1 Mark II has waged war. The S1R Mark II, I mean, it started the war, right? But the S1 Mark II, let me put a lens on here so y'all don't be crying. Y'all say, why do you have your sensors so exposed? Y'all never heard of a freaking like air blaster, like to get the dust off? Anyways, this right here, okay, I'm saying it right here. This is the camera, the first camera that has made me think about getting rid of my Sony gear. I told some of y'all, you ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say in this video. If any Sony people, Sony reps are here, I'm sorry, but a spade is a spade. Y'all, I ain't paid by y'all. Sony ain't cutting them checks. Lumix ain't either, but that my point is, I'm gonna say and do what I want to do. And this is the first camera that, for me, checks almost every box. Almost every box, y'all. They even added USB streaming. I was hot on Lumix heels for that. Every meeting, yo, where is USB streaming? They was like, well, we added 6K 60. I don't care. Where's USB streaming? Like, that's all they heard from me for like a year. And we finally got that. I just need Lumix to allow us to output anamorphic D-squeeze footage right from the camera. Lumix, Sean, make it happen. This is the first camera that has made me think of selling off Sony cameras. Not only just Sony cameras, but damn near all my cameras that I own, because it offers so much. I cannot understate or overstate, however you freaking say it, how powerful this camera is. I really can't. It's a beast for photography as long as you're okay with 24 megapixels. I shot a lot of sports with it. My biggest problem with the S1R Mark II was, yeah, 8K and all the resolutions and stuff are fantastic. Personally, I don't need 8K. Although it's a fantastic camera. But it was, it wasn't the best camera for shooting sports. And I said that in the video. I shoot a lot of sports. So it's not the megapixels that are important to me or the resolution. It's can that joint keep up? And it was my main camera for a while. But now that this is out, and it brings what I was missing with the S1R Mark II. And that is freaking speed. Okay? This is one fast-ass camera. It's not the fastest, but being able to, and I know everybody getting this is talk about video. I'm talking about photography first. Again, I shoot a lot of sports. Being able to rip off 70 frames in 1 second is wild. When I had the Alpha 1 Mark II, I was blown away by the 30. It was 30 frames a second with full autofocus and, no rolling shutter problems and nothing like that. Being able to rip off 70 frames in a second, and there's very, 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 very minimal rolling shutter. It's almost non-existent. It's crazy. It's crazy. With full autofocus at the same time. Man, I'm at these basketball games and track meets just, leaving it in full burst mode, all E-shutter. And I'm looking through every photo like, oh my God. Like it's hitting every last, not every single one, but, it's hitting the way Sony cameras hit and Nikon's hit. So when I was at this track meet in the basketball game over the last week, I'm like, yo, this is the first camera on the photo side that I'm impressed with. I was impressed with the A9 III also. That camera is bonkers. But that joint is also $6,500. And I'm not paying no $6,500 for no camera, bro. No mirrorless cameras. Get $6,500? No. So the fact that I could get and so the Alpha 9 III could do 120 frames per second, but that's 6,500. So for 3,200, I could get 70 with, I ain't gonna say full range, but I believe when you in 70 and you pick speed, it's 12-bit. That's way more than good enough for me for stills, for sure. So at $3,200. So that's number one. Number two, the stabilization. Nobody can compete with Lumix's stabilization. I'm sorry. Call me a shield. Call me what you want. Hey, Shield Team 6, represent. Okay? The stabilization, including this new cropless stabilization that Lumix cameras have, it's wild how good it is. And they have anamorphic stabilization. Nobody's giving you that. So again, we go back to that comment that we saw a couple minutes ago on how it's overpriced. What? What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Even just the stuff I've named so far puts this freaking camera in my opinion, the $4,000 territory. And it's $3,200. So I'm not going to tell you that you should, again, you were talking about a whole ecosystem. You got lenses, you got all of that. I will say the only reason why I ever picked up my A7R5 over the S1R2 was two reasons. Three reasons, I'm sorry. Lenses, because again, Lumix they're making strides towards lenses and the L mounted lines. The Lumix, they just can't hang when it comes to lenses when it comes to Sony. And again, Lumix is in here. I say all this stuff publicly. Nobody can shut me up, okay? Lumix is like, they're almost there. They're missing the lenses. And yes, you could get Sigma lenses. Like I got the Sigma 24-70 Mark II right here, right? But they just have, you know, they do have good lenses, but they're like big and old and they're really expensive. And Sony has just figured out a way to like miniaturize all of these lenses and put like best in. This is the first lens from Lumix that I was like, okay, that's respectable. A 24-60, look how small it is. At f2.8, and it's only $900. I'm down for lenses like this, but we need more of them. So it's the lenses that always make me pick up Sony cameras, especially like when you get into like gangster mode lenses like the G Masters. I won't sell my A7R5 specifically for that lens. Do I need to go get it? You know what? I want to go. I want to go get it. Hold on. Move. I'll be right back. This lens is so sexy. God, I just wanna do things with it. This lens is $8,000. A 300mm f2.8 gangster mode with OSS in it. So it's not the cameras, it's the lenses. And if Lumix had more lenses like these that are small, lightweight, crazy fast autofocus, like, so it's that. And then the last thing is not the megapixels, the autofocus. I feel like on the S1 Mark II, after using it, which one is okay, the autofocus on the S1 Mark II, after using it the last couple weeks, I would say minus the subject tracking, is neck and neck with Sony. Again, I was shooting athletes running, sprinting, track. The new urban autofocus, you know, the ghetto autofocus, the black people autofocus is what I'm calling it. It's good. It's really good. But Sony still has the advantage. Like if I want to touch a random object and track it, like a camera on my desk, and I want to shoot some B-roll and make sure it stays in focus, like Lumix does have like a focus tracking shift thing. I don't know how to use it, but they're not. So they got a little while to go to catch up to the subject tracking on Sony cameras. Aside from that, I much prefer to pick up the S1R Mark II. So, I just, you know, you have a pretty good lineup of Sony lenses, you know, so I don't know if I would tell you to switch, but it's definitely worth checking out, man. All right. I'm waiting for honest review about the S1 Mark II. That's why I'm here. I'll put up a review on my channel about it already. You want tight shirt TerryWarfield's honest thoughts? It's the best camera you can buy right now. It is the, look at, is that my, oh, I thought my underarms was all sweaty. The Lumix S1 Mark II. Here it is, y'all. Here it is. Is the best camera you can buy right now. Hands down. There, I said it. Go ahead. Go ahead, put the shield comments in the, go ahead, do all that. Go ahead and say this guy's paid and all that. The S1II is the best camera you can buy, hands down. Period. Absolutely. I stand on that 100%. And it's $3,200. If it was $5,000, the conversation would be different. But even at $5,000, let's say the S1II costs $5,000, y'all. What other camera can do what it can do? That's the question. What other camera at $5,000 can give you all of the stuff that the S1II can do? Let me help you out. There is none. The closest that you can get is maybe the Z8 and the Z9. The S1 Mark II is the baddest. You know what? My kids be watching my stream, and you know I'm a man of God, so I try not to use profanity. Even though when I get around Cam and Kofi and Shine, they really bring it out of me. I be having to repent after being with them. Like, bro, yeah, I ain't dropped that many F-bombs in a long time until I was with Cam and Kofi and Brandon Talbot and B-Wash. They're horrible influences. But you want my honest review about the S1II? It's not many things you can complain about. I mean, sure, we could sit here and like mini nitpick over stuff, but first of all, let's remember, okay, we've been doing as a whole camera space a whole lot of nitpicking. Bro, we have cameras that fit in the palm of our hands that can shoot 8K, 10-bit, freaking 12, 13, 14, 15 stops of dynamic range, 8K, 4K, raw, B-raw, live streaming. We all in the palm of our hands, and we forgot how blessed we have it. Because cameras like this 10 years ago, you couldn't even get unless you wanted to spend $100,000 on a cinema camera. And even them didn't have all the stuff that you could get in this little tiny thing right here. So we have been doing as a community a whole lot of nitpicking. I don't like it. I don't like it. People do more complaining than actually using the cameras. And a lot of times be complaining about cameras they not even going to buy. Let me tell you what the problem is. We got to take a slight deviation. It's the ego. It's the issue ego soy boys. That's the problem. You want me to put it out there? It's the ego-driven soy boys. I paid $3,900 for my Sony FX3. There's no way a camera $800 cheaper could be better than a $3,900 camera I own. I got a Sony FX3. What? It's the egos. And instead of pitting these cameras against each other, everybody feel like because I spent money on something, I must choose a side. And the side that I don't choose, they're wrong. And there's no way they could be right. That's what's going on. The reality is all of these cameras are fantastic. They are. And I'm not loyal to any camera brand. I'm not being paid by any camera brand. I mean, sometimes I do, but right now I'm not. And that means I'm going to use whatever I want to use, A, but B, whatever I feel like makes the most sense for my workflow right now. And I'm sorry. This camera is about to replace a whole lot of cameras. You know why I've been holding on to the ZV-E1? Let's go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes. Y'all want to know why I've been holding on to the ZV-E1? Because it shoots 4K 120. And it's got fast readout speeds. You know how many things I hate about the ZV-E1? I mean, it's a good little camera, but it's always overheating. It's always overheating. The lack of menu buttons, dials. I mean, it's a small camera, so, you know, I get that part. But, you know, everybody's in this revolution of getting smaller cameras. I prefer, like, full-size cameras like this because of the buttons and the switches and the dials. A lot of times when I'm out using that ZV-E1, I got to mess with the freaking touchscreen, and that is annoying. Especially when you got sweaty hands like Cam. Ugh, imagine what his touchscreen on his camera look like and the stuff he be doing. Oh, and Kofi's big old Nigerian hands, like, never mind. I don't like using the touchscreen on cameras. I like granular physical controls. So I'm going somewhere with this. The reason why I've held on to the ZV-E1, A, 4K 120. There's not many cameras out there that can do that unless you want to go Sony FX3. Full frame. I'm not a crop sensor boy. I'm a full frame boy. And low light performance. Right? 12,800 ISO is fire. However, how many times have I actually used it? Maybe 3. I would much prefer to have something where the second base ISO is in between that. So when an S1II comes up with a base ISO second base of 5,000, I'm always around that ISO range. And a lot of times when I'm using this, I wish that, I wish the base was on was 5,000 or 6,000. So for sure, I'm going to say this publicly. I actually made a video saying that I would never sell the ZV-E1 because of how fast the sensor is and how it can shoot 4K 120 and how great the image quality was. Guess what? I'm getting all that in this. I'm getting basically no roller shutter in this. I'm getting more dynamic range in the S1 Mark II than you get in the FX3 sensor. I'm getting a fast sensor. I'm getting a more, in my opinion, usable second base ISO for me. I'm not saying that that's the same for everybody. So I told y'all I was going to be saying some things you don't like as Sony shooters. ZV-E1, it was real. But I have no use for you anymore. So the ZV-E1's getting sold. It's getting sold. Now, I'm not going to sell my A7R5. Those are the two Sony cameras I have right now, strictly because, again, my lenses. And I do still use Sony cameras. I make Sony content, obviously, from time to time. So I'm not going to sell my A7R5. But that ZV-E1 is absolutely getting sold in favor of the Lumix S1II. Okay? Let me get back to some of these comments. Another super chat. I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. Currently use S5II and original S1. Why should I switch? Pittsburgh, PA. There's a lot of reasons why. I'm not gonna tell you that you should switch, but if you got the money, either look at the the S1II, which is the same pretty much sensor as the S5II, which is an amazing little sensor. But you get all the upgrades that the S1II and the S1R2 are getting, or have gotten, for $2,500. And the original S1. If you are okay with 24 megapixels and you have the money, I'm gonna say, yeah, why not upgrade? Sell the S5II or keep it. Sell the S1. I want to hit these super chats real quick because I haven't given him no love, bro. We said 1999 super chat from Cam Mackey. Thank you, bro. 99 cent from Louis Hermosilla. Hope I said that right. What up, Louis? 100 underlined twice. I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe you were in agreement and that was indicative of the 100 emoji. I don't know. But thank you. And then another one from Louis. How does one join the elite, the elite Shield Team 6? We got a new sub too, Josh Townsend. What up, Josh? How does one join the elite Shield Team 6 or get to take part in these extravaganzas? Well, first of all, it is going to require a sacrifice. A sacrifice. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, man. I think just make good content and, I think Sean Robinson is in the chat. He's the Lumix marketing guy. I don't know. Maybe Sean, check Lewis out. I can't really tell you how to get in because this is an elite fighting force. Okay, you don't just get to just come in here when you want to. Pause. But thank you for the super chat. $4.99 super chat from Mark Chudry. Super chat for the superstar. Oh, stop it, man. Stop it. Thank you. Another super chat from Sam. Oh, yes. Who remember the days when Kofi and Terry would drop out of an interview stream because of overheating? Yes. It happened not too long ago. Thankfully, we don't have them problems anymore. All right, so those are our super chats. Thank y'all for contributing. I really appreciate it. Let's get back to these comments. Man, it's a lot of comments in here. I'm going slow. I need to quit talking so much. Dang. There's a whole lot of comments. Let me rip through some of these real quick. Clearly, I talk too freaking much. Oh, God. I don't even know where to start, bro. Wow, this is a lot. Okay, I think I was right here. All All right, I'm about to rip through these. Enjoy the fruits of your labor and let the haters hate. I heard that, bro. Rolling shutter kept me from the R2. Megapixels might keep me from the S1II. That's fine. You got to find a camera that worked the best for you. I'm not in here trying to push you to buy anything. I don't care if you buy any. I don't care if you buy a Lumix camera. I don't care if you buy a Sony. I don't give a damn what you buy. It's your money. Don't care what they bang. I'm repping Lumix game. Big Cook out here. Yeah, I'm definitely. Oh, Big Cook in the building. What up? I didn't even realize. I just read your other comment. I didn't realize. Shout out to Big Cook. Lumix game from back in the day. GX8. Great stream. Do you think they'll ever put this lens in a point and shoot? I don't do paid work, but love iPhone log. Would consider buying a small travel body. I don't know. Maybe that's something Lumix should work on, is like a small travel camera. They used to make them. No problem. How does the new Lumix S1 Mark II match up to the Sony Alpha 1 Mark II? I mean, in some ways the Sony's better. It's 50 megapixels, stack sensor. I mean, fully stacked sensor. It's got a better EVF. I'm reaching right now. Yeah, it's got a $9 million EVF versus the $5.76 million EVF on Lumix. But aside from, this is wild, because that camera is $6,000. The only thing I can give the Alpha 1 Mark II, which is Sony's flagship, over the S1II or the S1R2, is the fact that it's 50.1 megapixels. It shoots 8K, so does the S1R Mark II. The S1R2 shoots way more codecs, resolutions, bit rates, more dynamic range. I mean, I'll give the Alpha 1 Mark II best in class autofocus for sure. You got Sony's ecosystem of lenses and the fact that it's 50.1 megapixels. Aside from those things, I mean, damn. Wow. I really can't give the Alpha 1 Mark II any other advantage. Oh, and the autofocus. Yeah, touch tracking. That says a lot, bro. That says a whole lot. Is this AI enhancement a new hardware piece? I like to see it in comparison versus the S1E versus S5IIX. But yeah, S1II is awesome. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I hate this new AI push or anything. I hate the AI crap with Sony. I hate the AI crap with Lumix. I hate the AI crap with Nvidia. I hate all of this AI nonsense. What does it even mean? And is it actually doing it? Like I don't know if it's actually AI. But whatever. Preston, what up? Rocking the S5II and the S9, but might condense down to the S1 Mark II. I probably wouldn't, because I believe in keeping two camera bodies for what we do. Preston, I know you're a creator. So I will always say two camera bodies over one camera body. You never know when you might drop one, like I did yesterday. I dropped a whole camera, bro. A whole camera and lens. So I don't know about selling off all for one. Okay? But you do you. I would keep two cameras though. And the S9 is a little pocket rocket. May 28th, new Sony camera cross between FX3 and A7C2. Thoughts? Dumb camera. I haven't seen it. I don't understand it. I've heard about it. I don't have it. I'm not on any NDAs or embargoes with Sony, so I can talk about it. If it's to be true, I don't understand it. What's the point? I'm curious at how many people wanted the A7 IV sensor in the FX3 body with an adjustable EVF from what I saw. I don't understand. It's almost like right now, and this is no diss to Sony, man. Sony, I love Sony. But I can say when I'm confused, like I don't understand what they're doing. Who wants that? Who wants a A7C2? I mean, I guess people that like, okay, I could come up with a use case. For example, Blazar has the Apex 1.33 times anamorphic. That's autofocus, right? But they don't make Lumix. They don't make it an L mount. They only make it an E mount, and I think that at this point they're only making an E mount. So there are some people who have Sony who want anamorphic and a 1.33 times anamorphic on a 16:9 sensor, it works out. And you can punch in on the A7C to the APS-C, which is how the Apex is designed to be used. So I could see in that, maybe, you know, maybe somebody would like to have that in the FX3 style body. The FX3 body is amazing, but outside of that, I don't understand who will want it. And I guarantee you, if this is real, it's probably gonna cost $3 grand. So very weird. I don't understand it. If this rumor is true, which again, I don't have a camera. I'm not on no NDA or embargo with Sony for said upcoming camera. It's a very weird camera, and it makes you like, okay, when Lumix is dropping bangers like this, and Sony's dropping a FX3 body with an A7C2 sensor in it, that sensor is, you know what I can't wait to hear? Not y'all. Okay, not the 90 people in here right now. I'm not talking about y'all, but them. They had so much trash to talk about the S1II Mark II and its slow sensor. And it's not slow in every mode, but I mean, overall, it is a slower sensor, but it's not meant to be fast. They never said it was a fast sensor, but nobody had that same energy for the A7C2. Nobody had that energy for the A7 IV. So what's going to happen when they put the slow sensor from the A7 IV or A7C2 in an FX3 body? I wonder how much backlash it's going to get. I guarantee you won't be none because it's Sony. People only seem to like glaze this rolling shutter and slow sensor crap with Lumix. How do we know? Because I have the only camera that didn't get, no camera got really backlash for a slow sensor. None of them did. But Lumix, every time they drop a camera, that is the first thing people go to. How fast is the shutter? Oh, the shutter's not, sensor. Oh, the sensor's not fast enough. Oh, this camera sucks. No, I'm not buying it because it's got a slow sensor. When they got a whole room full of cameras with slow sensors. Make it make sense, bro. Terry, you to go. Oh, man, thank you. I'm not. Thank you. Terry needs a dedicated channel where he just tells people to shut up. You know what, Herbert? Shut up. Shut up, bro. I'm just playing. Yeah, I do. I do wish the batteries were better on the original S1. Yeah, you got to get up. You got to get with the times, bro. That's them were old batteries, bro. Manny said the video features alone, there just isn't anything else that can complete. Let's clap it up for this comment. Let's clap it up for this comment. Like, there's nothing that can compete, bro. Nothing. Not Sony. I mean, Nikon is the only camera getting relatively close, but they don't have open gate. Open gate is a big freaking deal. And I don't understand. I don't know if it's a licensing thing or what. Name it something else. We want open gate. We want open gate. We want it. Everybody wants it. Nobody wants to sit there and have to film a rectangle version and a vertical version. With open gate, you just film one thing and you get multiple deliverables out the same clip. We want that moving forward. So when somebody brought up the A7 IV, if Sony drops another camera without open gate, I'm knocking all of this over. I'm knocking it all over. It's unacceptable at this point. We need it. It's like people are just trying to find stuff to hate on with Lumix. And I don't get it. I truly, and this ain't me, I'm not being paid by them. This is just real talk. I don't get it. I don't get the hate. When the company is giving you every single, not only are they just giving it to you, but they're listening. They flew me and like 8 other creators out like 2 years ago to New York to ask us, what do y'all want in the camera? And guess what? All of the stuff that we talked about, guess where it's at? These 2 cameras right here. Everything we wanted. We told her we wanted 32-bit float. We got it. We told her we wanted a better 4-way flippy screen. We got it. We wanted a smaller camera. We got it. We wanted a camera that could shoot 8K, open gate, 6K. Like, we got it. We want to, you know, all of these things that we told them. This is the living proof of the fact that Lumix cares about creators, and that is huge. They ask us, yo, what do you want? After the camera release, guess what? We have group chats where they want to know, like, yo, what are people saying? Sean is in people's live streams. I don't know. Like, I don't see any other brand right now really caring about the creator economy the way Lumix is, bro. They are in creators' live streams. Sean has been on live streams. He was on B Wash's live stream yesterday. Kofi's the other day. I think he's been on Cam's. So it's like, man, they right now they're showing, bro, that they care about creators. And then let's wheel back. Everybody yelling shield, 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 shield. You know why we also ride or die for Lumix right now? Because they care. They make us feel like we're valuable. They're not paying us. You know, I mean, y'all can say, oh, they took you on a press trip. How many? We've been on a dozen press trips with Sony. Yes, they're dope to go on, but outside of that, Lumix is the only company, I would say Lumix and DJI right now, that listen to us, that ask for our feedback, that actually implement our feedback, that are supportive, that show up in our live streams, that, you know, like they are actually really boots on ground with the community. And I freaking love that, bro. And imagine this, when you got like B Wash's live stream yesterday, B Wash had like 150 people in there, probably more than that. I think it was over 200. No, it was over 200. He had over 200 people watching his live stream yesterday. And here's Lumix in like on screen talking. Imagine what that does for the 200 people. They ain't never seen no other brand on a live stream. Like really boots on grounds, nitty gritty with the people that are buying the stuff. And imagine what impression that left on them. You think they didn't get off that live stream yesterday? Let me see what this new camera from Lumix all about. It's huge. So anyways, that's why right now we are so, I guess, like affixed with Lumix. They're giving all of the sauce. Somebody made a stupid comment on Cam stream earlier, like Lumix cut corners with the S1 Mark II. The hell is you talking about? What are you talking about? This camera is packed more than any other. Whoo, child. You know what? I'm starting to think some of y'all just smoke. You smoke things you shouldn't be smoking. Because some of the stuff y'all be saying is crazy. Like you're smoking things you shouldn't be smoking, which is why you're saying these type of things. Because some of the stuff is just illogical, completely. Lumix cut corners with the S1II. They basically put everything in there but the kitchen sink. I need high megapixels to sell large prints. Fair. But I want zero rolling shutter for video. Okay, I need the ultimate hybrid, and that's the A1 Mark II for me because I'm deep in the ecosystem of props dependence. Listen, bro, if it's the camera for you, it's the camera for you. I'm not here to try to talk you either way. I don't care if you buy either camera. Dude, like, if the A1 is a fantastic camera. Yes, you are getting everything you're looking for. So if that's the camera system that fits you the best, go for it. Like, that's what you should buy. That's what you should use. Because look, right now, Lumix's high megapixel camera cannot give you fast readout speeds. So, hey, you got to go with wherever the bed is most comfortable, bruh. Alpha 1 Mark II is a fantastic camera. I just want to see Sony do more. It's not that there's anything wrong with their cameras. It's just like when you got a camera like this that gives you all of this stuff, I just want to see them do more. I'm not discounting any camera that they offer. The S1 Mark II is, I mean, I'm getting tongue-tied. A1 Mark II is dope. John from Trinidad and Tobago, what up? Using the ZV-E10, that's what's up. Raymond Noodles, never heard of that. I don't know what you're talking about. The camera seems to offer a lot. However, it is the $3,200 price tag, so not super budget either. I mean, yes. It shouldn't be super budget. Like, John, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, you got to step back. What other camera? First of all, $3,200 for a camera this powerful is cheap. It's cheap. There's no other camera giving you this much for $3,200. And if you find one, let me know. And I'm going to tell you, you can't let me know because it does not exist. It doesn't. Even if you go with like the Nikon Z8, okay, very, very powerful camera, it's still not giving you everything that you get with this camera. Sure, it's better in some ways, but as a whole camera, give me a S1II all day. Give me a S1II all day over any camera out right now. For real. I can't say that $3,200 for what this camera offers is too much. In fact, I think they should be charging more for it. If Sony can charge $3,900 for a 4-year-old FX3, you know, good ain't cheap. That's a fact. Do you consider the S1II to be the best camera for recorded videos like vlogs or talking to the camera? I mean, at this point, any camera is good enough for that. For real. There's no bad camera these days. Any of them can do everything you talked about. Is it the best? I don't know. Best is relative for what you needed to do. For me right now, I think it's the best option out there. Might not be the best. Like you just saw above how it wasn't the best camera for him. With S1R Mark II wasn't an S1II because it wasn't enough megapixels. Everybody needs are different. John, they're mirrorless. This is a perfect comment from Cam. They're mirrorless cameras for twice the price that have half the features. People need to accept the price. It is what it is. Absolutely. And at $3,200, when the camera is half the price of competing cameras that give you this, and let me back up. No camera gives you this. No camera gives you what these two cameras gives you. I'm sorry. They don't. So $3,200 is not expensive for what you're getting. I use a Pocket 3 for my other channel and making about $500 a month doing walkthroughs. Hey, again, all of these cameras are very, very capable these days. I'm the official sponsor of this channel. Here we go. Looking good like a movie set. Thank you, man. I've been working hard trying to get this lighting and all that stuff together. That's dope to hear. All the super chats go directly to me. You don't like my flowers? Well, I only said you didn't like. I only said I like your flowers because you was talking about my backwards hat. What up? As a DaVinci Resolve user, how are you supposed to edit ProRes RAW from the S1 Mark II? Haven't figured that out yet. Haven't tried it. Maybe some of the other guys from Shield Team 6 who are way more filmmaker than I am can probably let you know. You got an A7 IV to A7 II. Dope. Terry, love the setup, but I'm going to keep it 100. Key light is a little hot. Other than that, it's fine. I just can't. Can I just get some flowers? Why we got to nitpick? Let me turn it down. Dang. All I want to do is be grateful. One time, bro. One time. All right, bro. It's on 1% now. You good? You happy? Do that look better? Do that look more cinematic? You was right. It was a little hot. It's all good. Appreciate it. We got that super chat already. Got a boat. Thanks for the teaser. Peace. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. I think the hype of this camera is warranted, but it's just interesting that the hype is always generated by trashing on a competitor. Again, I try not to use profanity, especially on my streams. I love that you want better for cameras in general, Terry. Just don't go. Just don't go. I don't know if there was the route of certain YouTubers just trashing on Sony to gain new fans, as if Sony didn't get them their followers in the first place. Sony knows what they have to do to stack up the competition. Listen, bro. Y'all have to realize that a spade sometimes is just a spade. Sony is not winning right now. And we all use Sony. We all love Sony. We all work with Sony. This is what we do. We test cameras. And right now, they're not winning. You want to know who is? I want that a little hotter. Make that a little too dark. All right. Maybe that I like it a little hotter like that. You know, it's getting hot in here. I'm not trashing Sony. Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with calling a dead man dead. There's nothing wrong with calling hot water hot. There's nothing wrong with saying that chicken is greasy. You know, like some things are just matter of fact. I had to throw a chicken one in there. Y'all know how I get on. Some things are just matter of fact. And right now, Lumix is winning. There's no two ways about it. There's no trashing Sony. There's no trying to put Sony down. They're not winning right now. And they've been winning for a long time. But you know what? No champion stays a champion forever. Right now, there's a passing of the torch, in my opinion, and it's going to Lumix. And it's very possible Sony might come back swinging in 6 months. And guess what? We'll be right here on this live streaming saying Sony's back on top. Canon probably will never. I don't know what's going on with them. But, you know, it's not trashing them. It's a calling matter of fact. And, you know, people have real, like personal ties to these freaking cameras. They're cameras. Who cares? Let me make sure my Pixis ain't about to die. I had enough of that last week. Hold up. I had to swap the battery, put this bad boy on the charger. Let's check the battery. Oh, all right, I'm good. I still got full power. Sometimes a spade is just a spade, okay? And just because I say right now that Lumix cameras are better than Sony cameras doesn't mean I'm trashing Sony. Because right now Lumix is making better cameras than Sony. They just are. I'm probably the biggest FX shield ever, but when the camera is good, thank you, Kofi. When a camera is good, a camera is good. The S1 offers things you wished were in the FX3. I wished. Do you know how long it took us to get freaking shutter angle in the FX3? Do you know how many of us wish that we had freaking false color in the FX3? Do you know how many times we want more anamorphic D-squeeze options in the FX3? Because the only ones in there right now is like 1.3 and 1.1. It's like 1.1 and 1.5. It's weird. Lumix gives you a 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, like all of them are in there. Do you know how many times we wish we could put more than one monitoring tool on the screen? Like, the list goes on and on and on. The S1II is giving what we wish the FX3 could. Hands down. It's got more dynamic range, a better image, way more features. The only thing that the FX3 can still say right now is that, sure, better rolling shutter, but we're talking like splitting milliseconds at this point because the S1II sensor is fast. And a second base of 12,800. Which I prefer the second base of 5,000 on the S1II. And better lenses, for sure. Sony has better lenses, hands down. But aside from that, this camera gives us everything that we wanted in the FX3. And you FX3 boys are just mad. That's what it is. You're mad, bro. You're mad. And it's okay. But you're just mad. Because for some reason, it's almost like... And I'm not talking about you, bro, that dropped this comment, but like people have to defend their camera so mightily. Like there's no way another camera could dethrone my camera. No, I haven't. I have the FX3. That's no FX3. No, bro, a good camera, like Kofi said, is just a good camera. And yes, this camera, I will pick over Sony FX3 10 times out of 10. Sorry. And I owned one. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the FX3, but you also can't make it seem like there's no camera that could ever eclipse the FX3. Yes, there is. Lumix just did it. Yeah, the FX3A should arrive on Friday from BH. They offered to swap my FX3 for the new model, W. And again, the FX3 is still fantastic. I believe they will respond before the year's over. Plus, I'm sorry, but what other mount is killing it with these lenses? It's expensive, but that 50 to 150 f2 is an insane push. It's a crazy lens. Crazy. I'm not denying that. Again, I'm not here to defend Lumix or Sony. I'm here to call facts facts. And they might respond. I hope they respond. We're all looking at Sony now like, your turn. So we're waiting to see what Sony's gonna do. Like we're not like like we're not just diehard Lumix, bro. Like we're just calling spades spades. The cameras are great. Nobody's dropping cameras like them right now. So yeah, now we looking at Nikon like, your turn, bruh. We're looking at Sony like, your turn, bruh. We're looking at Canon like, are y'all alive? We're looking at Fuji like, well, clearly y'all don't make full frame cameras, so never mind. We're looking at Leica like, well, you don't like us anyways, and Hasselblad like, well, you don't like us anyway. So it's like, you know, We looking at Canon, Sony, and Nikon. Like, yo, move, bro. And again, y'all remember, this is our job. We test out cameras. This is what we do. So yeah, the next camera, will if it's better than the Lumix S1II and S1R Mark II, guess what we will be doing? Guess what we gonna be doing, bro? We gonna be on a stream again, saying that this camera from Sony is the best camera that money can buy right now. You got super chat for B Wash. Let's jump to it real quick. Shout out my guy B Wash. Another great stream, bro. Got a bounce, but consider me influenced. Got some real decisions to consider. Shout out to B Wash, man. B Wash is doing what I always wished I could do on YouTube. Him and Jarrell have lit the camera space on fire with these live streams. So I actually started live streaming like 2 years ago. And it was because of my dudes, CJ Unplugged and C-Kid TV. Shout out my guys, but they're in the tech space. And they started noticing in the tech space, like, yo, all of these new kids are streaming. Like, they're doing subathons and stream. So they like, yo, we got to start streaming. Like, yeah, we got to start streaming. So I was streaming consistently for like 3 months. I didn't stick to it. People weren't that engaged. So they're doing what I wish I could have did. And they're crushing it right now. So big shout out to B-Wash and Jarrell. And honestly, everybody who's stepping up to stream, man. This is the way of the world, y'all. Streaming is, if you think about like Netflix. When the Tyson, who he fight? Tyson and who did he fight? Oh gosh, my memory's getting terrible. Who did Tyson just, like, there wasn't even a fight. Was it Jake or Logan Paul? One of them D-bags. It was not on pay-per-view. It was streamed on Netflix. So, again, shout out to B-Wash for leading the charge, bro. Dope. Now I gotta go figure out where I was at. Oh, man. All right, I'm about to rip through these, okay? I'm about to rip through these. I'm clearly talking too much. She's just a lot of comments. I can't get through these. I cannot get through all these comments. Oh, gosh. Huh. Where were we at, y'all? Oh, Reza in the building. What up? My guy. Tell the world about that Sony sensor and the Shield 1 Mark II. Sony gives everybody their sensors, man. Oh, man, I don't even know where to start, bro. I don't want to leave people that left comments. All right, here we go. We back. My guy, could you name the other 5 on the Shield team? I love the name. Listen, I'm gonna take credit for Shield Team 6. Okay, I clearly made it up. I made it up. I'm just playing. Kofi actually came up with it, and it's not because there's 6 members. It should be, but it's not. Like, there's only like 5 of us for real. I mean, I don't know if Connor is actually part of Shield Team 6 because he never represents. So it's basically right now me, Cam, Kofi, Zach. Who else? Who else is like Shield Team 6 for real? For real. I think it just might be me, Kofi, Connor. I mean, me, Cam, Kofi. Zach is like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Connor doesn't like, you know, so it might just be us right now. I don't know. Absolutely. If the FX3 had half the specs of the S1 Mark II, no one would blink an eye at spending $2,000 more for it. It's only the Lumix hate. They did a great job with this one. Absolutely. What are your thoughts on the S1 line not having 4K 120? It does now. The S1 Mark II has 4K 120 as well as the S1R has 4K 120. So I'm not sure what to make of that. I just want one camera for photos and videos. Got a 6400 and the Fuji X100. Thinking about returning the Fuji. What camera to buy? There you go, buddy. S1 Mark II. I'm playing. I don't know what your budget is. I don't know what you're going to shoot. I can't answer that. I need way more information. The 6400 you have can do photo and video. So, you know, if you want a better camera, I mean, that's a deep rabbit hole. I got an A9 III, and I don't think my camera's making me change from Sony. Cam's footage looks insane with Lumix, but he's nice with any damn camera. That's a fact. All of these cameras are way more capable of. Is all about the shooter. All about the shooter. The cameras are no longer the limiting factor. But creators like Danny Gervich just remind you that there's levels. Absolutely. He's fire too. I thought we were friends, man. We are friends, man. Go get it. I believe people believe Lumix should be cheaper because it's not Sony or Canon. They view anything that's not RE, Red, Sony, or Canon as cheaper. That's a good take. Gangsta mode setup is cool. Appreciate that. That was weak updates. I mean, to be fair, Sony never said it was an update. It was a quiet update. They were just giving it a small refresh. Maybe triple base ISO, but I love the 12 megapixel images. And IBIS also have all G Master glass. If you love the FX3 IBIS, you have a whole lot to be impressed with. Because Lumix cameras are blowing the FX3 IBIS out the water. Triple base will be cool. Lumix has 3 cameras, sub 3K. Mad feature pack. I don't understand what you're trying to say. But yes, you're right. Obligate waveform and shutter angle. Yep. I just want one camera for, we already answered that. Cartwheel screen should be the official name. I call it the flippy cartwheel screen in all my videos. I haven't been L mount long, but I tend to agree. Every time a new Lumix comes out, everyone says it should have been cheaper when it can do so many things. That's weird. Yeah, but they don't say that about Sony cameras or any other company for that matter. It's like people, like we know Lumix has been the underdog, but it's like everybody wants to keep them there for some reason. I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't understand how anyone can say this camera is pricey. Again, I'm in Sony with the Alpha 1, which used right now is still over $4 grand, and the Alpha 9 Mark III. If I was starting over, this camera would be an easy idea of a purchase. If I had to start all over, absolutely. And it's not like they don't have lenses. They do have lenses. They just don't have as many options as Sony, but they still have enough to get it done. Have to admit, if I was buying today, probably go with S1 Mark II, absolutely. But again, we're talking camera bodies. I think what makes Sony so hard to shake is they're not leading in bodies for price value features, but who the F is touching them with lenses? Absolutely. The S1 Mark II with the 32-bit module is $3,700, still $200 less than the FX3. I have a C80, C70, C400, FX3, and R5 II. The Lumix is not expensive. I was shocked we get what's in the camera for the price it is. Am I going to run out and get it? No, because I'm invested in Canon L glass and Sony G Master, which is, yeah, he right. I'm still holding on to hope for S1H Mark II. I believe this is what the S1H is. I think they just dropped the H. I think the S1II is what the S1H is. I just want my, you know what? I am with you on this. I want a RX1R Mark III, Sony. It's wild that the RX1R Mark II still costs $3,400. Crazy. Sony rarely innovates. If they do it, it will ruin their lineup. It's important for Sony to walk you up the price ladder to move to more expensive cameras. If you give too much on the A7 IV. Hold on. My kids are calling. Please hold. Yo, hey. Hi. I am living right now.
I'll call you back then.
What's the matter?
I just need you to call my phone.
Oh, I'll call.
I accidentally deleted your contact.
Oh gosh. Okay. How did you accidentally? Hold on, Talia. How did you accidentally delete your dad's contact?
I don't know. It was in my thing, and like 3 of them, but like,
Yeah, Kenny.
like 3 of them was gone.
Why you sound so stuffy? Why you sound so stuffy?
Cause I am.
Okay, I'll call you after I'm done streaming.
Alright.
Bye. Okay. Back to it. We almost at 2 hours, so don't leave yet. The images I get out of the Alpha 9 III and the A1II with the 28 to 70 is freaking crazy. I, however, can't say Sony does anything revolutionary. The A7 III was game changer, but Sony doesn't want to cannibalize itself. And that is where Lumix is winning. Because they're not scared of that. And that's what we love about them. If Sony offered open gate and all that other stuff, they will for sure keep it to the higher cameras. You would not be able to get it. The fact that you could get an S1 Mark II for $2,500 and get Arilog C3 on it, all of these video codecs resolutions, video monitoring, real-time LUT, Lumix flow, like all of that stuff is crazy. They don't hold it back, and that's what I love about it. A7 IV, new body, 4-way screen, 44 megapixels of AI. If it does have that, meh. I wouldn't be impressed. I wouldn't be impressed by that. They have to bring more than that. I'm going to say A7 IV is probably the same sensor. Updated body, slow-mo crops. Without slow-mo crops. I could probably agree with Kofi. S1II plus S9. Chris said, Jesus, you are at everybody's live chat today. Crazy that you support so many different creators being as talented as you are. Kofi is very talented. That's humble. We all try to support each other. But yes, shout out to Kofi because he's been in literally everybody's stream. He has his own streams also. But yeah, man, we try to uplift the community. Anytime Kofi is on, me and Cam make sure we in there. Anytime Cam is on, me and Kofi make sure we in there. Anytime I'm on, usually they don't even show. I'm just playing. They are always in here. So yeah, man, we try to support like B-Wash anytime he's on. Chris and Lee, we always join their streams. So, you know, we just try to support each other, man. Always support the family, brush, Shield Team 6. That's a fact. You got 3 S5IIXs. Yo. I just want one camera for. How many times you gonna ask that, bro? I already told you that's not like a linear answer. I can't just give you a one. And I'm not being mean, but you gotta go do some research, dog. Sean said USB streaming just for me. Thank you. Finally. Now we just need you. Okay. Now I'm sounding ungrateful, but now we need you to add anamorphic D-squeeze over USB because tomorrow I'm recording a video about the one feature the Blackmagic Pixels has that no other camera right now has. And you're seeing it right here. Anamorphic D-squeeze over USB. It's fire. That's the reason why most of us are using our Pixels. Nice. The camera is the first to make me want to consider the change to Lumix. That Sony A7 IV needs to be fired to compete. I'm going to upgrade from my A7 III, and it will be a compliment to my A7S III. This is a tough call. I'm going to be honest. I don't have high hopes, and this is coming from a guy who loves Sony. I've worked with them for years. A lot of my channel was grown on making Sony videos. However, again, I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I don't have much hope for what Sony's gonna do with the A7 IV. If Lumix wasn't coming out with these cameras and they came out with like 44 megapixels AI 4-way flippy screen, I would be like, oh my God, I need it. But when you got a camera like this or like this, and then Sony or Nikon comes and drops a new camera with incremental updates, I'm gonna be pissed. Not pissed, but I'm gonna be like, that's all. When Lumix is like, did you not see what they did? Did you not see what they dropped? I'll give you $20 for all your Sony gear. Make me an offer. Give me 19. I'm just playing. London in the house. Yeah, this camera was different. When that's coming from B-Wash, you know it's real, even though he's not in the stream no more. Are you guys going to Build Expo? Yep. B-Wash been up all night thinking about that Lumix after his stream yesterday. Absolutely. A7 IV won't come close because it's a hybrid camera. Only one will have to be the FX3 Mark II. Yep. Kofi, this camera does have your boy thinking. If the FX3 II drops and it offers more and a better price, we'll be the first to say so. But until then, the Lumix hitting, dog. Ecosystem, fair, absolutely. We don't deny that. Yeah, it sounds like we've jumped Brandon into Lumix. Shield Team 6 A93 is 6K. I got mine used for 5W. Is that Kofi or Big Cook? Both them jokers in here. BY said, tell that to my 15 RF lenses. That's the biggest deal, is switching because of lenses. Too many lenses to leave Sony completely. Agreed. I just got the Sigma 24, 35, 58 lenses from Sigma today. They're tiny. Cam is also very tiny. Let's talk about Chipotle. Andrew, I'm glad you brought this up. I know we was talking about this on Threads. I'm so sick of y'all Chipotle. I want y'all to know this publicly. Y'all suck, bro. I'm so tired of going to Chipotle, and one day somebody look out, and I leave there and I got a full belly. And the next day, you all self-righteous, trying to be manager, following every rule in the book, counting the chicken cubes. I'm in there today. So first of all, let me give y'all a Chipotle hack before we get back to the chat. Don't go into Chipotle and immediately ask them for double chicken. Don't do it. Ask them for single chicken. Usually when you ask for just single chicken, they'll load you up. And if that's not enough, you be like, oh, you know what? Can I just do double? And then they'll load you up even more. Don't ever go into Chipotle asking for double chicken, because they'll give you a portion and a half. Ask for single chicken first. Let them scoop the chicken out, right? And then you say, you know what? I'll do double. That's how you get the most chicken. However, there was an old hating A-N, okay, I'm not going to say those words, but you know what I'm trying to say, in Chipotle today. Okay, even after double chicken, I'm like, man, come on, I'm paying for double chicken, and can I please have a little bit more? I'm sorry, but we can't do that. Like, bro, why are you gatekeeping the chicken, dog? Like, this is what I want from Chipotle. I'm not mad if I go to Chipotle and they measure the chicken out. And if you get a bowl, it comes standard with 4 ounces, and they measure me 4 ounces of chicken. I know then what to expect. I know every time, because you measured it, whether it's enough chicken or not for me or not, I at least know I'm getting what I pay for. But when I go in there one day and I'm getting loaded up, and the next day I got this person that cares way too much about this chicken that's not even theirs. It's not even theirs. I could even see if it was the manager, okay? But just the regular people that work, and I'm not trying to speak about them condescendingly, but I'm just saying, like, why do you care so much about the chicken, bro? Give me a couple extra cubes. Made me upset today, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's my baby. Shield Team 6 in the building. Terry moved that tree door like he was in Brandon's Lollipop Guild. That is weak. Yeah, so the S1II is the first camera with Godoc's flash validation, okay? I don't care about that. Manny probably would care more about that. I don't use off-camera flashes anymore. I used to when I used to do like maternity photos and all that stuff, but I don't anymore. Very, very good point. I highly respect the 24 to 60 day drop, especially since I have this 24 to 70 paired with the ZV-E1. For a compact hybrid shooter like the S1 Mark II, the 24 to 60 is very intriguing. What's even more intriguing is it's only $900. It's a 24 to 60 S. It's an S lens, so it's one of their pro lenses for $900. Crazy. Shut up. Shut up, punk. Yeah, this. Hello? Hello? DEI autofocus. Black people autofocus. They can't catch me, but they they can't catch me, but the autofocus can. That's diabolical. Philippines in the house. I want Opagate on Sony cameras now. I now understand. They not gonna give it to us. What does that even mean? Honest review. It would be great if Viltrox joins the Elmont Alliance. Viltrox, listen. People say what they want. I do not like Viltrox lenses. They make the cameras freeze up. They always are causing random shutoffs with Sony cameras. I'm cool, bro. And I mean, for cheaper budget lenses, sure. And they work fine for most people, right? But you'll find like most of these third-party lenses are really only sharp in the center, which is okay for some, for video creators, that's fine. But if you're into photography, like for example, like Sony dropped that 16mm f1.8G, right? And when you look at the MTF charts, versus the Viltrox 16mm f1.8, which is double the size. It is crazy how much sharper the Sony is. At half the size of how much better the autofocus is. So I don't really rock with Viltrox all like that. You gonna drop the same camera again? What you mean? Gary, what up? Gave it. Brad, what up? We here. Pixels 12K, pre-tariff price. I'm not leaving Sony, but I like that this camera exists, and I hope it makes Sony. You know what? I love this comment right here. Even if the S1II is not the camera for you, or the S1R2 is not the camera for you, what we hope as consumers, this puts pressure on everybody, which at the end of the day leads to us, the consumer, getting better cameras overall. So even if it's not for you, you still got to appreciate that Lumix dropped the camera like this. It's crazy. The only bad thing for the S1II is its association with the Z6 II, and that is a trash camera. Well, this will be the same potential sensor out of the Z6 Mark III, not the Z6 II. I believe the Z6 II is the Sony A7 III sensor, if I'm not mistaken. Some Sony users are hilarious. Yeah, y'all will, y'all acting like we talk about your mama or something. Okay, great comment. I'm moving from a crop sensor to full frame. The Lumix offerings has me considering them. Sigma seems to be filling in the blanks on lenses. Very true. Seems the S1II is a near jack of all trades camera. Absolutely. I'm going to agree. My comment section, and this is all of our comment section. Jason Morris says, his comments all say 10-bit 420. I'm out. Terrible, unusable. People just be complaining just for the sake of complaining. There's no bad cameras. Absolutely. It's insane how these people are spec peaking yet forget about everything over one digit. Yes. Imagine telling Cam his videos aren't good because he's shooting 420. Yes. Cam right now has some of the best looking footage. And guess what? The majority of the subsampling rates in the S1II are 420. There are some 422 modes in there, but the majority are 420. And imagine telling somebody like Cam, your footage is garbage, or somebody like Jason or Kofi or Terry, your footage is trash because it's 420. Come on now. Yes, all cameras are good now, and it makes me sad that there's so much camera community toxicity. I first started following PMK years ago. I don't remember this much negativity. Absolutely. And there's things that have happened along the way that have caused it, but it's wild. Ada says 5.1K, 3.2 open gate, 60 FPS is crazy for that price. Wild. Agreed. Is the FX3 worth $3,900? I'm going to say, hell no. It's not. No. FX3 at this point should be $3,200. Man, that's funny because everyone is glossing over the fact. Okay, Reza, this is all right. This is a hot take. I'm gonna leave this on the screen once. We're gonna talk about this. Everyone is glossing over the fact, and I think Reza is a Sony ambassador, okay, or something like that. That almost all cameras, short of Canon Leica, are using Sony sensors. I'm not seeing Lumix and Sony squabbling about rolling shutter. Good point. Yes, Sony does make most sensors, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to say why. Let's take the Sony A7 III sensor as an example. When Sony had that sensor, it was an 8-bit sensor that could shoot the maximum of 4K 30. 1080p, 120, 4K 30. 8-bit. Lumix took the same sensor and made the S1II. And it can shoot 10-bit, 6K 30 open gate, okay, cinema 4K options. Yes, it had a 4K 60 crop, but my point is, who makes the sensor doesn't matter. What matters is how is the sensor tailored and programmed, whatever the case may be. All right. So, yes, Sony supplies most of the camera industry sensor, just like Samsung supplies most of the TV industry's panels. But that doesn't matter. What matters is what are the OEMs doing with the sensor? That's what matters. Yeah. Bruh, I say this all the time. It's only us. It's only us in this little freaking micro bubble of D-bag video creators who care about how good video looks. Outside of us, 1% of all people, like we're 1% of the population, probably less than that, nobody cares. So we spend all this time sitting there arguing over 420, 422, dynamic range, rolling shutter. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's only us that cares. Yeah. So with that, now I'm not saying that the people that are in it don't have a right to care about it because they're spending money. You know, we're a lot of us, not really me particularly, but a lot of people are shooting gigs, and you know, some of the directors have, you know, requirements and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to negate or discount that. But the general public, yeah, they just be complaining just to complain. Don't mess with Kofi, Terry. That man is a national treasure, straight from Wakanda. Yeah, but it's like how Sony gonna sell the sensors and the other brands are getting more out of it than they are. Yeah. Full frame or bust for me. I see crop sensor cameras as limiting. They have their places. This dude is paid by Big Schmedium. Absolutely. You mad. You just mad because you ain't got one of them, chump. The next Sony drop is not going to be pretty after this camera. I'm going to agree. That's the trade-off. Kofi third parties get to tweak the sensors that they want, but in the same token, they don't get Sony's best, which is why we don't see Lumix bodies with dual native. I'm going to disagree, Reza. You sounded like a real Sony fanboy right now. You sound like a real Sony fanboy. Reza says, and I love Reza, so, you know, the trade-off, Kofi, third parties get to tweak the sensors the way they want, but in the same token, they don't get Sony's best, which is why we don't see Lumix bodies with dual native at 12,800. Why would they need Sony's best? They have a dual native sensor with more dynamic range that splits the difference and gives us a more usable dual base of 5,000. So it's got more range, amazing low light performance, and dual native of 5,000 versus 12,800. So I'm going to disagree. If that's Sony's best, then they getting dogged because, hey, the Nikon Z6 III couldn't do what Lumix did with this sensor. Sony sure couldn't either. So I got to disagree with this comment. Do you think the A7 IV will be competitive with the S1II? If you want my honest opinion, as a Sony lover, no. Does anyone like the FX3? I'm renting one next week. Fantastic little camera. If you want to see FX3 content, Kofi dropped like 500 videos on his channel about the FX30. That's why he's saying FX3 is great. The trade-off isn't worth 700. I'm sorry if I be a liar. You get what I'm trying to say. I got tongue-tied. The low light of the A7 S3, keep that camera. But yeah, Lumix is awesome. Listen, I really want to challenge y'all with this. I know Sony has the dual base of 12,800 ISO. But do you know that these Lumix cameras are getting almost the same type of performance? I mean, getting very close in their low light capabilities without the dual base of 12,800. I'm just throwing that out there. So I'm not trying to make 12,800 seem like it's not amazing. Yes, Sony at one point had that sensor couldn't be touched by any company when it comes to low light. But Lumix is starting to figure it out. And even though their dual base isn't 12,800, when you push the S1II to 12,800, I'm not going to say it's clean, but it gets the job done. A little bit of denoiser you in there. So it is that one feature. I'll tell you, I had the A7S III, I had the FX3, and I got the ZVE1. Do you know how many times I actually used 12,800? Probably 3. It's just bragging rights. Oh, my camera can do 12,000. I've very rarely used it. You know what I much prefer to have? A dual base 5,000. So, you know, gimbal versus freehands, thoughts, time and place for gimbals. I'm not a fan of gimbals. I use them when I need to. I much prefer freehand. And I got the smoothest hands when it comes to, especially at 4K 120. Does the S1II charge USB-C? I thought you said the S1R. No, I never said that. They do charge USB-C. What lens did you use to record the talking heads of your S1II review? It looked buttery smooth. Honestly, I used, what camera did I use? Oh, I used the Lumix S9 for my main angle with the 24mm f1.8. And then my secondary angle that was over my shoulder was the A7R5 because I wanted the 8K to be able to move the frame around if I needed to, because I needed both the S1 and the S1R2 to be obviously shown on camera. So it really is not the, it was, you really can play around with, like, you could get really good results just by messing around with lighting and composition and all that stuff. You could have achieved that look in that video with any lens, any camera. I wouldn't compare two sensors 5 years apart on price alone, bro. Obviously, newer Sony sensors and third-party cameras will have better specs, but specs don't tell the whole story in production. They don't, but we are talking specs. Can OpenGate be added to Sony cameras via software update? Don't think so, and even if they could, they won't. Talk to me when Lumix has a 28 to 70 f2 and a 50 to 150 f2. I can't argue with that. What Sony is doing with this f2 zoom line is wild. That 50 to 150 f2, ooh, it's so good. It's so good. I can't, you want me to, like, disagree with you? No, Sony makes the best glass, hands down. That's not even a debate. What about the battery on these cameras? I mean, all of these new cameras, you probably get 2 hours. They are literal pocket rockets doing all this downsampling, oversampling. Like, you know, it lasts for about 2 hours. Just like Sony cameras, just like Nikon cameras, all of them about the same. Yeah, Kofi, not everyone is buying their camera for production. This is a great comeback to Reza's comment that I said wouldn't compare them if all right, let's start over. But not everyone buying their camera for production. That said, I wouldn't compare them if the FX3 wasn't more expensive. The S1II can also shoot 4K 422 downsample just the same as the FX3 can. He's not wrong. Remember I said that the S1II does have 422 modes. If you do downsample or oversample, however you want to say it, any of the 4K modes, even 4K 120, still 422. And really the only time, like, we sitting there arguing over chroma subsampling, the only time it's going to make a difference is if you're doing like a whole lot of keying. Aside from that, nobody going to notice the difference. 10-bit, plenty of data. But Sony turns what could be a software upgrade into a brand new camera model to make more money. I think they all do that. All right, Sean says, we're finally getting down to the comments, down through the comments. Sean says the AI enhancement, because somebody asked, is the AI thing in the S1II and the S1R2 really a thing? Sean says the AI enhancement is a software addition created through machine learning data tests added to the cameras. This is why we don't need an AI chip. Truth is, there are no cameras that, let's read the second part. He didn't finish it, but to Sean's point, the AI enhancement in Lumix cameras is all software. Sony has a second processor that they call the AI coprocessor. I've never opened up one, so I don't know if it's actually a coprocessor or if it's just software. But that's Sean's answer. Even then, I'm shooting a doc next week on the S1II where you can absolutely can on it. Don't know what that means. We good. I got an FX3 from the 9 to 5, Action 5 in the Pocket 3. There you go. It's not actually AI, but the word AI makes money. I believe that. AI built in. This was the second part of Sean's comment. It's all machine learning that is trained on AI models. All right. Big Cook, are you selling your Z8? Because I'm really thinking about selling both my Nikon Z8 and Z6 Mark III. I love the A7C line. Ooh. Ooh. Great take right here, Kofi. The man ain't lying. Hold on, let me text my daughter. The man ain't lying. How we gonna say Lumix needs a 28 to 70 f2, which I need y'all to know that lens is $2,900, and a 50 to 150 f2, which I need y'all to know that lens is $3,800, but also say that Lumix cameras are pricey? What are we doing? I can't argue with this. I can't argue with the man Kofi. I don't know. All right, Reza says, I don't know, Kofi. I still think it's a reach to put a five. I'm going to tell you why it's not, Reza, because everybody in the online community is putting these two cameras against each other, whether or not it's warranted or not. And also, the FX3 Reza is still $3,900. This is where the strife comes in, because the S1II gives you just about everything that you get and more than the FX3, but it's $700 cheaper. I still think it's a reach to put a 5-year-old sensor, which, hold on, Reza. I got to call you out. You were just saying that this 5-year-old sensor is the best of what Sony offers. Know what? You said it yourself. You said no other camera has dual base 12,800. You said it. But now you're saying you think it's a reach. And I love you, Rez, but I'm going to call you out. Now you're saying I think it's a reach to put a 5-year-old sensor, the same 5-year-old sensor that you were just glorifying, against its own newer sibling that isn't even in the same class. You backpedaling, bruh. Sony is going to shoot a fair one in this class with the A7 IV. I don't think they are. I think whatever the A7 V is not going to hold a candle to the S1II. I mean, aside from megapixels, which I'm not trying to discount megapixels, because for some people megapixels are important. But Rez, you know. All right, Samo, yes. Sony responded to some requests. They do. I'm not saying, listen, I wasn't trying to say that Sony doesn't listen to us. We also have focus meetings with Sony, every condo, every camera camp. They do reach out to our feedback. Sony responded to some requests. They said they don't plan to add certain features like waveforms or D-squeeze because they believe people will just use tools like monitors that bring those features. Well, they're losing. This is where they're losing, because guess what? You got all, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I disagree with them. You could say that, but look at all these people flocking to Lumix because guess what? I have anamorphic D-squeeze. Because guess what? I have false color and vector scopes and waveforms, and I can put all this crap on the screen more than one at a time. I don't want to have to use a monitor all the time. So if that's their business model, fine, but they're going to lose out on a lot of people, especially once people start finding out all of the stuff that you get in in Lumix cameras. They not going to give us open gate. We know that. Oh, God, these comments. So many comments. Okay, Big Cook says, no way in the world he's selling his Z8. The niche features of the S1II aren't enough. I'm not mad at that. Like I said, at the beginning of the stream, I said the only camera I feel like that can compete with the S1II is the Z8. But the Z8 is also more expensive. And it still doesn't have a lot of the stuff that the S1II has. So, you know. Okay, here we are. Why does it keep doing this? Didn't he? All right, maybe I need to open this back up. I'm trying to find the last comment I responded to. Okay, didn't hear what they said about OpenGate. All right, we got that. Terry dropping bombs always. The Z8 is a monster. That is the best hybrid camera out. Arguable. I'm not saying it's not a monster. It is. The Z8 is a monster. The gas is killing me. I need to stop watching all this Lumix stuff. Hey, man. Everything the S1II does, you can do the post in the Z8 file. Cap. That's cap. Jay, that is cap, and you know it, bro. You can't record OpenGate on a Z8. And it starts there. Kofi says, I've yet to find a compelling reason to tell someone getting into an FX3 at 3900 and what would disqualify it from that class. It has more internal cinema features than FX3 does. He's right. AI is the espresso of this decade. S1II may have too many features. Seriously. Okay, wait a minute. Jay, what are you talking about? So you're mad that it has too many features? Like, we live in a world where people just can't be pleased, dog. If you think the S1II has too many features, I'm lost. I'm lost. How does it have too many features? Now, if it didn't have enough features, everybody would be all super butthurt online that they didn't put enough features in it. But okay, so I'm confused. They threw the whole kitchen sink at it, bro. Everything that you could get. It shouldn't have all of this stuff for the price, but they gave it anyways. How are we mad about that? I don't understand this comment. He says nobody's going to use all that. No, you can't say nobody. You can say you won't, but that doesn't mean that I won't or anybody else won't. It's nice to have options. Agreed. Cinema versus hybrid, bro. 5 years old versus new. Unfair. Hey, nope. You brought it up, Rez. You said that sensor was the best that Sony had to offer. And right now, their best sensor has been trumped. I never thought so many people would love Lumix from the Sony game, yet there's so much hate from the Sony crowd. Agreed. I think there's hate from every crowd that Lumix, because Lumix is making so much noise. Quality last, I agree. Not one FX3 stand able to explain that one. Kofi, 2 features the FX3 has better. It's better autofocus and better lens selection. You're very true. Let me tell you something. This is very true. This is very true. First of all, the FX3 does not have better autofocus than the S1II. It doesn't. Now, if you wanted to use one of Sony's AI enhanced cameras, yes, I will say those are still better than Lumix. Though the S1 gets really, really close. And better lens selection. These two are very true. But how long can you hold those two cards in comparison to everything else that Lumix is giving you? And I'm not, those are two big trump cards. I'm not going to lie about it. But how long can we keep riding that train when Lumix is giving everything that you could possibly want? So while I agree, I also you also have to acknowledge the other side of that. Sure, Sony has the better autofocus and better lens selection. But guess what Lumix has that Sony doesn't? Where do I start? Where do I start? Man, I don't even want to start because it'll take me too long. So what I'm saying is both cameras have compensating things, right? But the Lumix camera has, if I have to put those two on a scale, okay, Sony's autofocus and lens selection is huge. But when you add in all of this stuff that Lumix, like, it becomes kind of one-sided. Because I just came here for the smoke with Kofi. That's funny. Only 60 likes. People don't like me. Figuring that out. I think some Sony users are envious that Lumix care about people. Yep. I was flown to Japan for the ZV-E1 release of 2023 and told the engineers at Sony head office I wanted OpenGate, still crickets. We have all told them this. And at this point, they're just like, I guess they just don't want to, which is fine. But then you're going to have a lot of people jumping ship. At this point, 700 ain't gonna stop you from getting what you want. Could stop some people. There are some like new Viltrox Pro lenses, some Tamra. I haven't tested them, so I can't speak on them. It's because of Ed Prosser, Cam, and Terry and company I bought Lumix. Super happy with it. I even shot stuff at Pinewood Studios. Dope. Cam said Terry about to take his belt off. I ain't got on no belt, chump. Back to my main point, don't get caught up in the spec brand wars. The companies are working together to produce these cameras. Yeah, I mean, they're very different cameras though, but yes, you are right. Don't get me wrong, S1II is still a better choice, but just pointing out two of the FX3's advantages. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. The FX3 does have the advantage for, I mean, body design for sure. It's still got better rolling shutter, a little bit better low light performance. You know, the 4K 120 is only a 10% crop in the FX3. It's like a 1.24% crop in the S1II. But then it's like the Lumix has a ton of advantages too. The Lumix cripple hammer. What Lumix cripple hammer are y'all talking about? They didn't cripple it. One thing lacking. Lumix could have given the S1II the 100 megapixel handheld photo shooting from the 20. It is in there. It's a 96 megapixel mode. I think this is a good point. I think it's a little dangerous for brands to take YouTube chat comments too seriously. There's a lot of emotion and a little fact. I agree. There's a lot of butt hurt people in the comments. But I think there's also good feedback. Y'all finished or y'all done? All three of y'all. Birdman. Put some respect. Yeah, put some respect on the alpha. Y'all finished or y'all done? Put some, anytime y'all shills mention FX3, put some respect on my name. Yeah, that's a fact. And Jay, to my point, I don't care what nobody buy. To be honest, I don't care what you buy. The sales will show what the sales will show what the cameras are worth, and I don't have a dog in this race. I hope they both succeed. True. And I don't know if that's 100% true. Some cameras sell out more than other cameras, not because of capability, but purely because of hype. I think the FX3 is way oversold, not because of its capabilities, but because of the hype. The FX3 is probably one of the most popular cameras out because of the hype. There's other cameras that can achieve what it can do. Let's take an example. The ZV-E1 has the same sensor. FX6 has the same sensor. None of those cameras are as popular as FX3. FX3 is super popular because of the hype. It's a gorgeous camera to look at. I feel like that plays a part into it also. Thank you. The FX3 should be selling for $2,500 right now. I would say like $3,000 is fine. Sony does love to sit on his high horse. I think it's way too expensive still. Round of applause for Shine and Lumix though. For real. Excited to see all these awesome drops from them. Yeah, I think it's great for all of us. Sony rarely drops prices every once in a while. The RX1X, the RX1R Mark II, it is still $3,200. It's crazy. Is the S1E the camera to buy under $2,500? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you only got $2,500, that is the camera I would tell you to buy. You know whose video to go watch? Zach Mayfield. Dropped a great video on the S1II. Reza says, stay up, Shield Team 6. T-Dub in the squad got a dip for now. Lightning Super Fire. Thank you very much. Zach Mayfield actually just texted me. Oh. No, he didn't. He emphasized something. Oh, y'all talking like nerdy stuff. A deluxe is $2,500. Why are we complaining? Yeah, facts. You paying $2,000 just for the name. Hey Terry, my favorite YouTuber and Kofi, of course. I appreciate that so much. What up? There's nothing wrong with saying that this other brand is doing good things that people want and that you want the company you support to start doing the same thing. There's nothing wrong with calling the dead man dead. That's all we asking. That's a fact. GH6, GH7 shooter here. Can we all agree L-mount lenses are on the expensive side, generally, albeit not as overpriced as Sony's lens offerings? Yes, and I don't think Sony lenses are overpriced. Let's be real. G-Master lenses are the best lenses you can buy. They cost for a reason. That 50 to 150 f2 lens should cost all of $3,800. It is a marvel of engineering. So I don't think Sony's lenses are overpriced. Sony, just like, you know, Canon RF glasses, it's expensive. When you want the pro line of even Lumix's glass, if you want the pro stuff, is expensive. What I will say about Sony is they have options for everybody. They have Sony has 85 native E-mount lenses. And that's not even counting in all the third-party stuff and adapted lenses that you can use. But yeah, I think Lumix needs to hire some people for engineering for lenses. That's what I think. They got the camera side down. That's true. They lost. Somebody said, why couldn't y'all? Somebody asked in Brandon or Kofi's live stream 2 days ago, why couldn't y'all come with this sauce before COVID? I think they did. Yeah, I rolled with 2017 and just gave their lead up. They did. Lumix is back, but it might be too late. Is it? The best thing about Lumix is that they keep giving us firmware updates even after 5 years. This is fact. Terry's mad behind on comments. I'm trying to get caught up. A super chat from B-Wash. Okay, we already talked about that. For me, the most evident indicator of Sony being an arrogant camera vendor has been that their 1999 A7 III 8-bit hybrid ripoff of a camera that is only recently creeping downward in price. That camera is what, 6 years now, and it still costs. You right? Armando, Cam, Armando, Connor, Zach. Connor is not really Shield Team 6, bro. He never is in the streams. He's never, you know, I don't know. Talbot in the building, my guy. Hey, Terry, that last Lumix video you did had me looking at that. Lumix is so fire. Hey, what's up, Nika? I'm almost through the comments. Lumix needs an RF style camera to replace the GX8 from years ago. Sony got my money because they made an RF style body, and Lumix used to own that space. I agree. I think that, you know who always carries an old Lumix, the little point and shoot? It's from Petapixel, Jordan. Always has one. People think that Sony IBIS is good. It's not. The only camera right now from Sony that has good IBIS is the A7R5. That camera is actually great. The ZVE1 does have decent IBIS, but it's got a 30% crop to go into dynamic. They also just added dynamic, I believe, to the A7C2. But I would say for real, the only Sony camera that has good IBIS is the A7R5. Appreciate these streams, keeping them spicy, real convos. Competition brings better products, and we as creators have the power to influence the gear we get. Absolutely, I appreciate you and that comment. If Sony implemented all the features the S1II has, they'd have to update their whole lineup because the camera has better specs than the effing FX9. Think about it. The man is not lying. Absolutely. Good point on Sony pushing us up the camera lineup. Its lens and autofocus still right for me, chasing fast movers, sticky autofocus. Hey, Sony's still great. Not taking away that. A7 V needs better rolling shutter, absolutely, and no crop in 4K 60, absolutely. I wonder if we'll see a badass update to the BG line from Lumix. I like that. That would be sweet. What would also be sweet is if they took the S1II and S1R2 and came out with box variants. I love how relatable the Chipotle thing is. Brandon, I got an all-you-can-eat card from Chipotle so we can go big on our order. How do I get one of those, bro? I think the next S1H will be a box-style body only. It only makes sense. That would be dope. I'm jealous, Brandon Talbot. Did you make Chipotle content or what? He sold his soul. Yeah, kind of. I need one of those cards, bro. I've been wanting a 300 gangster mode. How do you like it? Let's just say me and this thing do some things we shouldn't be doing together, okay? That's how much I freaking love this lens. All $8,000 of it. I'm way past comments. I'm trying to fire through them. Chat started strong and he couldn't keep up. Yep, chat started strong. Great point, but this is also a testament to how fire Lumix is. I like to see Nikon do some major firmware updates to their Nikon Z6 Mark III. If Lumix was able to get this much out of a sensor, they got to step up their game to add just a bit more. Sony too. This comment right here. Everybody forget that Sony has in-camera noise reduction to achieve usable 12,800. Yes. Lumix is just as good at 12,800 even with the S1R2 without noise reduction. This is what I'm saying to y'all. Okay, if you go watch the test, especially Cindy D's test on the low light performance of the S1R Mark II, all you got to do at 12,800 is put a little bit of noise reduction on in post, and it don't be brainwashed by the 12,800 ISO height. That's all I'm saying. Yep. I'm selling my ZV-E1 if that answers your question. It gives me everything in my ZV-1 and more. The mighty Siobhan. Y'all gonna make Sony put the Sony Venice sensor in the FX3 in a lesser body. Facts. My camera store asked me today if I wanted the 50 to 150. Should have told him yeah after you sell him a leg. Because it's $4,000. My Z6 III is a little jealous. It should be. Don't stub a toe working in the dark. I won't. Kofi with the gospel. Basil Tiffany, what up? No need to criticize the sensor for his age. We could just talk up when you. All right. This is why I cooked him. That's my boy, but I cooked him. Reza's comment is revealing. No need to criticize the sensor for its age. We can just talk about what it could do. Fair, yep. S5II for 1,600 or S1II for 3,200. If you got the money, I don't know, because you could buy two S5IIs. You could buy one S1II, or you could buy the S5IIe and still have $1,000 left over. So, I don't know. How do you feel about the photos that come out of the S1II? I want to use it for both, but I haven't heard much about its photo capabilities and look. So after you get off this live stream, go watch my video. I spent the first half of the video talking about photography first, which most people didn't. As long as you don't mind 24 megapixel photos, Lumix gives you a whole lot when it comes to photography features. And yeah, the files are amazing and it's great in low light. Yep. Object tracking on Lumix is pretty whack. Sean, you hear that? If you're still in here, subject detection is amazing. Absolutely. I agree. Hold on one second. Video guys are waiting for the H. Did you hear anything? I think this is the H. I mean, what more could we ask when it comes to video? Seriously. Like, what more can we ask from the S1II for in the H? I'm genuinely curious of what more we will want. No, I didn't. I'm selling my ZV-E1. And I love my ZV-E1. But, I mean, the S1II gives me so much more. And as the other commenter just left, like, sure, the ZV-E1 has 12,800 second base, but A, I rarely use it. B, you can still push this sensor to 12,000 or higher ISO numbers, I should say. And it still looks great. I don't know. Best is subjective. Yeah, the S1II is it is. I mean, people can try to argue with it all they want to. This Pixis, the Pixis anamorphic live image is super dope. You got me wanting to get my set lighting game up. Hey, I'm blaming on Cam. I'm gonna blame it on Kofi. I'm gonna blame it on Manny. This is such a simple lighting setup. It's 2 lights. That's it. Thoughts on the Sigma FPL? Meh. Rolling shutter like an Etch-a-Sketch. Want to see why lenses are so expensive in general? Go watch Sigma Factory Tour video. It's like 20 minutes long. I had no idea. Do you know how many like sterile rooms and all that stuff that are in lens factories? It's crazy. There's a lot that goes into making those, the spherical elements, the XA elements, the motors. Like, it is really precision engineering. He's finally catching up. We've reported it to our engineering team. All right, I think I'm caught up. Yes. Sheesh. That was wild, bro. Okay, now I can get on with it because we're going on 3 hours and it's time to wrap this up. I think what Lumix did with the S1 Mark II is put the whole freaking industry on burn notice. And I'm going to say this right now. You cannot get a more complete camera for the money. Not even for the money, but period right now. Unless you just need more megapixels than the S1 Mark II. And if you want more megapixels and you're willing to sacrifice with a little bit slower of a sensor, and you don't need a speedy sensor, then again, you can't get a more complete camera than the S1R2. So what Lumix has effectively did is dropped 2 cameras that shut up everybody. If you don't like how slow the S1R Mark II is, oh, we got an option for you. And if you don't care about having a speedy sensor, we got an option for you. These right now are the 2 best freaking cameras you can buy for $3,200. Hands down, it's not even a question. It's not even freaking close. Sony cannot compete with either of these cameras right now. And this is crazy because they have an Alpha 1 Mark II and an A9 Mark III. Our other Shield Team 6 member has showed up swinging. As Kofi says, from the Raptors. What up, Armando? Coming from the Raptors. Off the turnbuckle, Armando just came. But I'm sorry. Hate me all you want to. Call me whatever you want to. Right now, at this moment, Lumix has the best lineup of cameras. I don't care what you say. And as Kofi just said, if you don't want to drop that bread, then they have the S1II, which for $2,500, nothing, hear me out, absolutely nothing can compete with it for $2,500. Nothing. The only thing that comes close is the Fuji X-H2S, but that's a crop. So, these 2 cameras right now, I'm blown away. I am. And they've waged war on the entire camera space against Sony, against Nikon, against Canon. Well, Canon is already losing. But yeah, as everybody has said, next, Sony, Nikon, Fuji, Canon, it's your turn. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think the next version of any camera, whether it be the A7 IV, whether it be a successor to the Z6 Mark III, to the Z8, to the R5 Mark II, to the R6 Mark III. I'm loving my BF though. That's good, man. You should. It's a dope little camera. My point is right now, nobody can hang with the S1 Mark II and the S1R Mark II. And there we are. Yes, I am selling off one of my Sony cameras. The ZV-E1 is going up for sale tomorrow. So if you're looking for a great condition Sony ZV-E1, the camera I said I would never sell because it shoots 4K 120 and it's got amazing low light performance and roll and shutter performance. Yeah, if you're looking for a great condition ZV-E1, it's going to be for sale tomorrow. You want to know why? Because of this SOB right here, S1 Mark II. Your cave lighting is sick. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Logan says, Sean, the S9 needs USB streaming. It's the camera that it makes the most sense to have that feature. I agree. However, I don't know if it's capable. Hopefully, we will see it, though. Terry, what do you shoot with your 300 G Master? Mostly sports. And when I want to shoot, like, wildlife, because I do like going out doing that quirky nerdy stuff sometimes, I have a 1.4 times teleconverter on it, so that will turn it into like a 420 millimeter f4, which is still fantastic. But it is a weird focal length, man. Or girl, I'm sorry. It's not long enough to be like a real wildlife lens, unless you put like a 2 times teleconverter on it. That will put it at like a 600 millimeter f5.6. But then at that rate, you might as well just buy the 600 millimeter, right? Because I think the 600 millimeter is an f4, right, from Sony. But anyways, if y'all got any questions or anything like that before I end this, we had about 100 people at one point. Mostly everybody starting to drop off, which is cool. But if you got any questions, anything you want to say, we've been on here for 2 hours and 37 minutes. Which is why I love cinema cameras. My Pixis is not overheated. Haven't had to change the battery. It's just rock solid. If you want to know what the stream setup is, Pixis with a Blazar 45 millimeter f2, 1.5 times anamorphic. I got a softbox right here. Zhiyun Molus, what, B500 or something like that. Cam Mackie C100 right over here, just to give us some. And then a little flashlight. So real simple lighting setup. The 300 millimeter is the only one I can afford with the 1.4 tele and the high megapixel camera. A crop will be a poor man 600. Yeah, for sure. And it's a lot smaller. It's a lot smaller. Ryan said, just got off work and tapped in, so I missed everything. Dropping a like, though. I appreciate you, big dog. Rez is still in here looking for the smoke. FS6 is better than the Pixis. Fight me, Kofi. All right, I think we're done here. We need a video on which lenses to use on Lumix. Okay. Maybe that's a video we want somebody can make. But I think we're done here, y'all. So yes, the Sony ZV-E1 is getting sold. And right now, my shooters, my main cameras that I will be using moving forward until, hear me out, something better comes along that fits my workflow better, will be the S1II and the S1R. Sony officially right now is going on the shelf. A7R5 is going on the shelf. It is. ZVE1's getting sold. I guess I'm a Lumix boy. I'm a Lumix boy right now. On the S1II though, besides its obvious cinema use, what photo lenses are chef's kiss? I'm using their new 24-60 f2.8. This lens is fantastic. They just announced it. And on the other one, I got the Sigma 24-70 millimeter f2.8 Mark II. We need a shield fast club podcast, bro. Thanks, Terry. Great stream. New cameras are always good for everyone. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. New cameras are better for us all. There's no reason to be sitting there cussing each other out, dogging each other over some freaking camera gear. Nika, thanks for the stream. Terry, thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody who dropped super chats. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who stayed, hung out the whole time. Thank y'all. So I'm about to hop off of here. I got to make some food. I'm hungry. I need some water. I need to run to the dollar store real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and end this. Much love, y'all. Make sure y'all check out my S1II video. It's the last video on my channel. And until next stream, I'll probably go, live this maybe like Friday or Saturday. Hold on. Armando said, do you like the Sigma 24-70? Yeah, it's great. Sharp. Constructed well. Small. Yeah, I like it. My man Floyd, what up? Thanks for the awesome stream. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Great stream, Terry. Thanks for hanging out, Sean. Thanks for the stream, broski, says Kofi. Cam, I missed it. Got multiple calls. Trash. Reza said, don't forget to shut your mouth channel, Terry. So I'm supposed to start a new stream where I'm just literally telling people to shut up. Because I've been telling a whole lot of people to shut up lately. All right, y'all. Kofi said he'll be live at 2 p.m. EST, so make sure y'all tap into Kofi's channel tomorrow around 2 p.m. We will be there in the comments, maybe on his stream with him. So, all right, y'all. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out of here. Piece of chicken grease. Till next time. Peace.